Now, Hasina, is there raid activity still going on? And what has been found today? Just tell us examples, give us examples of the goods that have been confiscated, and apparently guns as well.
Yes, Francis. Raid is continuing to happen. Activity is still here. As you can hear behind me, there's still vehicles moving in. Police have been offloading a lot of the goods from these buildings. There's bales and bales of clothing that are just coming down from these buildings here. We saw a lot of shoes, a lot of bags as well. But also quite interestingly, as you said, there was illegal ammunition, at least 7 rifles that were found in one of the buildings. Earlier this morning, we saw it come out. There was also ammunition. But later this afternoon, we saw poison also being found in one of the buildings. The street name for this poison that they had found was called poppy seed, and it was going on a sale found in little cups, and it was a little bag was being sold for 10 rand. Apparently, this poison was so lethal that if you touched it with your bare skin, it could cause you to die almost immediately. So this was just some of the things we saw. We also saw household goods, so shoe polish, as well as sanitary pads and some food items that were also being confiscated. As you mentioned and you've heard during that package that was played earlier, this is a multi-pronged, disciplinary act that's been happening across various law enforcement. So we saw JMPD, South African Metro Police Services, SABC, as well as even SARS custom officials here coming in to see some of the goods, authenticate them, see whether or not these were counterfeit goods. But to speak to me more about the mission, with me I have the Gauteng Provincial Commissioner with me here, Lieutenant General Ilyas Mawela. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell us, just quantify the extent for me of this operation that was taking place here today?
With this operation, we went on a planning mode after it was disrupted last week. And then we have mobilized all the law enforcement agencies in the province so that we have a multidisciplinary integrated operation. If I may mention few of the stakeholders, we have the immigration, we have the customs from SARS, we have JMPD, all units from the SAPS are also here participating. We have the saturation unit, we have the Gauteng traffic police, they are all here working together with us. Our intelligence was spot on. What they've said to us previously and also today, it was spot on. But what we further did is that we have placed all this area under surveillance. Ever since the disruption, it was under surveillance. We are monitoring who's coming in, who's visiting these people, who's talking to them. And as a result, behind you in these 2 tall buildings, underground packing, we have recovered 46 vehicles packed with counterfeit goods. So people, they were trying to offload some of the stuff from these storage facilities to hide it down here. And we knew, because our intelligence was on the ground about that. But in these buildings, we have recovered a lot of merchandise. In monetary value, we can't say for now. We'll only be able to say once we have concluded our operation. But thus far, you can see there's still a lot of stuff on the ground. We are still waiting for the trucks to come so that we pack them up and then seal them nicely and then take them to where we normally store this kind of goods. So the operation will continue.
How many people have been arrested? We know that many were undocumented and found in these buildings. So what happens now to those?
Yeah, the undocumented people, all of them, we have taken them to Johannesburg Central Police Station, whereby Home Affairs is currently busy verifying their status. And we also have our local criminal record center guys there who also check their criminal background and whether they are not linked to other criminalities. Over 600 thus far are already taken in there.
We know that in these buildings, there were not just goods that were found there. There were also manufacturing plants that were found there. Was it just in one building, or did we see that across a few other buildings here?
Yes, we find it across other buildings, including the machines they are using to brand these counterfeit goods. We have found those machines and we have confiscated them.
The ammunition that was found and the firearms, do we know whether or not this was legal or illegal firearms?
Yes, some of them are illegal firearms. because I've seen some of them, it is from Israeli military, whatever. We don't have those here, legalized firearms of that nature. And then some of those firearms, they allege that they belong to the security company which is deployed here. But we have also observed that they are not complying to the Firearm Control Act. So we have seized all those firearms, we are taking them in for ballistic testing, and at the same time we'll ensure that Section 102 of the Firearm Control Act is invoked.
What happens now? Does this operation, do you plan to continue it here in Johannesburg tomorrow, or are you going to take it to other cities?
Yes, the operation, it will continue because we have realized that it is some of the inhibiting factors to the presidential stimulating package. The President is trying his level best to ensure that, he stimulate the economy of South Africa, but this one at the disruption. So for us to strengthen that plan of the president, we need to deal decisively with counterfeit goods. Surely it will be taken to other areas within the province. We know of those areas already. Our intelligence, they are hard at work in terms of identifying and collecting more information. So the operation, it will continue. As you know, here in Gauteng, we have Operation Okaimulao. Operation Okaimulao is here to stay, and it will continue different days, different times.
Thank you so much. That was the provincial commissioner speaking to us about the operation here today. That was a raid that took place in Johannesburg, CBD, bringing the downtown Johannesburg to a standstill, where over 600 people have been arrested, many for being illegally documented, but also a lot of them for dealing in counterfeit goods. Back to you in studio.
All right, thank you very much, SABC reporter Hasina Gori, and we'll pick up on that story again a little later. In other